They're building a bridge at Arcades there. Don't think it's Zambian government paying that money. It's not. It's Indian government. It's the one which is going to pay for that.
Calm your boobs down. Slow your roll. And please get your underwear out of the twist. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Frida Tate, aka Dark Chocolate. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and turn on that post notification button so that each time I post a video, you are notified. So in today's video, I'm joined by my husband James, and we are actually reacting to the video that's taken Facebook by storm. And this is a woman married to a Chinese who's reacted to what is going on in Zambia. And so let's get into the video.
She's criticizing the criticism.
Yes. So we are going to play this video as we react to it. It's right here on the phone. So let's just give you a background of where this woman is coming from. So for the last 2-3 weeks, there's been a lot of happenings in Zambia concerning Zambians and Chinese. So let's just name a few incidences that have happened. For example, we had an incident of
factory.
Before the factory,
okay.
We had the incident of one Zambian citizen, black Zambian, married to a Chinese, and they went to a restaurant to have a meal, and so the black guy was refused admission to into the restaurant because they told him that he was a foreigner, and the Chinese patrons did not admit him on the basis that he was black, and blacks were bringing coronavirus.
This is a Chinese restaurant?
This is a Chinese restaurant.
In Zambia?
Right here in Lusaka.
So he's effectively turned into a foreigner in his own country.
Yeah. And there was also an incident of Chinese factory where they locked up the workers. They were not allowed to go home.
Keeping them.
Yeah, keeping them
on
site because the Chinese were afraid that these blacks would bring coronavirus if they went, they commuted back and forth from home. And then there was another incident of where the barbershop, where they did not allow blacks to cut their hair at the Chinese barbershop because they were black. And this is here in Lusaka. We saw how the mayor of Lusaka, Mr. Miles Sampa, reacted to that by revoking the license of that barbershop. So Zambians reacted to that. They were actually upset by all that happened.
And different Zambians have reacted differently.
Different Zambians have reacted differently.
Which brings us...
While the majority reacted with anger to what the Chinese were doing, there was a woman that reacted to the reaction of the Zambians. And so this is what we are talking about. So let's get into it. we're gonna post a video so that if you haven't seen it already, you can see it. So this is what we are doing here. We are reacting to this woman. So let's.
I don't even know what she's saying. She's speaking in Nyanja, right?
Yes, and she's saying Zambian people are getting mad, crazy, insane.
Okay. Now we'll go with this part.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So let me give some context so that you'll understand where I'm coming from, what I'm going to say next. We're not here to argue or make a personal attack against this woman.
Exactly. So what we are doing here, we are not attacking this woman. We are just appealing to her intellect.
Right. What? Okay. I'm a moderator on a website, and the website, one of the sections that I moderate has 1.2 million users, and one of my jobs is to mediate, to keep the conversation civil, and to keep people from getting into an argument. One of the rules in this website, you address the person's argument. You don't make a personal attack. You don't engage in useless hostility. So that's what we're going to do here.
Exactly.
And having said that, okay, she's basically just making her own opinion. She's her statements in her video. It's almost entirely coming from her point of view, but she doesn't really give facts or line of reasoning. What she's really, to me, all she's presenting is her own opinion.
Yeah, and when I saw that video, that was actually my problem. I don't usually react to videos like this, but for this one, I felt like, okay, this woman is trying to say something, but because she has no reasoning, okay, let me not say that, because she just wants to say something in the moment, she's not presenting her reasoning.
She's negative. She's criticizing the criticism, and it's pretty apparent why. And the reason why? Why? Because she's biased. There's that.
Yeah.
You've heard that saying, you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
And she's married to a Chinese fellow. I'm assuming he's Chinese national.
Yes.
And so it's pretty obvious that she's got her own way of seeing things, and that her own personal situation is a huge influence, because she's out of sync probably with 98-99% plus of the way
Of what is
everybody
going on.
else feels about what's going on.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the reason why. There's the personal bias.
Yeah. So we're going to play another part of the video, because there's some things that she said that are actually just right out of context. Like she just seems so clueless.
Sometimes you wake up. That's why they say that when somebody sleeps, he looks better than he wakes up.
Okay, have you ever heard of that saying?
When you wake up, just
Well, you know, when people are asleep, they look peaceful.
Ah, okay.
I
That's
think
where
that's-
she's coming from. Okay,
I
that
haven't
makes sense.
heard the saying, but I think that's
That's what
she's
she's
getting
saying. Okay.
at. Aka.
You just drop from airport there, you see a billboard. Where they are constructing. Why Chinese? They are putting names in Chinese. Is that a problem? Is that your problem?
Okay, I'm just gonna pause
Okay,
because
if I can say something
yeah,
quickly.
go ahead.
It's Zambia. Yes, the Chinese are building a new air terminal, and I've seen it. It looks pretty nice. But Zambia is an English-speaking country.
Bam!
The
Exactly.
people here that read and write, they read and write with the alphabet. And when you build an airport and you're putting the signs in a language that only
You can understand.
yeah, if it's true, I haven't been there to see the signs, but if that's true, that just shows maybe a lack of consideration for the local people, because it says, who are you building the airport for? You're building it for you guys. You're not building it for us. Otherwise, how come the signs aren't in English?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I have seen. I know you said that you've never been to that airport terminal.
Not inside.
Okay. But I know a lot of buildings that I've seen that the Chinese are building, they write with Chinese language.
Right.
Okay? The language only they can understand. Well, there's a few Zambian students that have gone to study in China. So when they come back from China, they can read and understand.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because when they go to China, the first year, what they do is learn Chinese language. Okay?
Maybe then the people building the airport, they're looking ahead to like 20 or 30 years in the future.
No, that's just out of the window.
What if they expect in the future
Well,
the Zambians will speak Chinese and read?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
But until then, they cannot put the sign in Chinese language because the majority of Zambians do not read and understand Chinese.
They won't be able to read the sign, but they'll get the message. You see what I'm getting at?
Okay. Now I see what you mean.
That's the message, right?
Yeah.
They're playing for their own side, and they're going to put their language because that's mostly what they care. That's the for us to be able to read what the sign says is like either no condition or no consideration, or as a secondary priority.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's play another part.
Are you the one constructing that project there? So that they put your name there? They have to put their names because they are the ones doing the project.
So,
Guys,
is it the names that they put on there or just signs?
Maybe it's, you know what, that's the thing. I can't really say because I haven't been there to see what the sign, what's it supposed to say, the name of the company or.
From Zambia, they have called you to speak on behalf of them. We can speak even by ourselves. Chinese, they have done a lot. Let's appreciate.
Ask her because her husband can translate.
Chinese companies. Everywhere is Chinese companies. Chinese product. You want them to come. Instead, they are teaching you how to do business.
Okay, right there. She says the Chinese are here to teach you how to do business.
No, they aren't.
No, they are not.
Why are the Chinese here? They're here to do business.
And make money.
But okay, count how, I bet you on the fingers of one hand, I wouldn't even need one finger to count the number of Chinese NGOs that operate here, right?
That's exactly my thought.
They're here to do business, they're here to make money, but they're here to benefit themselves, and they're giving the same kind of benefit. The assumption in business is you're doing business with somebody else, you take care of yourself, and the assumption is that the other person they're on their own. They do business with you, they make the deal, they pay, but you're there to benefit yourself. So that's what they're doing. And they came here probably in the first place, they come for the natural resources. Obviously, copper is one of them. But I think as secondary to that, they're here to do business. And we're here as their customers that they will make money from us. And maybe third in line, that the local peoples are like a source of cheap labor. And that's about as far as they will.
They go, yeah. So I challenge you, woman, show me one Zambian worker that's working for the Chinese.
That's a manager.
That's a manager or is driving a Range Rover because they are working for Chinese
and getting paid.
and getting paid by Chinese, not the dubious kind of means, like working for the Chinese, you know, like being their front for their dubious business, but a genuinely worker that's working for a Chinese, say in the office or, yeah, in the office. Show me who has bought a Range Rover, because honestly speaking, we've had a privilege of having two Chinese tenants in our apartments. And let me tell you something. Each time they had a social gathering, their fellow Chinese came and the yard was full of Range Rovers, the Toyota GX, like just larger cars, because they are here to make money and live the good life. So this woman clearly does not know what she's talking about. And then she talks about the Chinese helping you to learn or teaching you to do business. Okay, what kind of business are they teaching you? For example, Chinese are taking up the small businesses that actually would be in any country, would be restricted only to locals, like making freezes, chicken keeping. Okay, keeping chickens. And then they go to Soweto 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning to sell, actually undercuts the locals. A lot of locals have actually gone out of business because Chinese are undercutting the locals.
The point is, they could come here, and some of the businesses that they do, if they complement the economy, that's one thing, if they're doing local manufacturing. But one of the things that they've started to do is to displace local businesses that were already here, already up and running, by competing against them. And that, I don't see how that makes any major contribution to the economy.
Zambians that had small shops in Kamwala or in the town center have actually gone out of business because Chinese come in here. They have uncles and aunties and cousins and brothers back in China who can source for them cheaper supplies,
equipment.
So when they come here, they put a cheaper price, cheaper than what a Zambian that's going by plane and bringing those things on a plane. So Zambians just cannot compete because the Chinese are selling them at a lower price that is so hard to compete.
So if you want to go back to the woman's statement, they're teaching us how to do business. What's the lesson, unfair competition? I don't know. Is that what we want to learn? Where's the benefit?
I guess that's what she's talking about. Yeah. So let's keep going.
No, I don't know. But they're trying to teach us. You just wake up, I'm going around. Even if,
and she's so confident and so convinced that
she's biased.
She's biased, and she's been fed like really wrong information from the husband.
I condemn that video.
I condemn that.
That is totally rubbish. Let me tell you, you don't know too much. You just know.
Tell us what you know.
That is life. It's not life.
But what does she want us to eat?
This project
Or the average Zambians, what does she want them to eat?
Yes,
Zambia is their staple food, right?
Don't think it's Zambian government paying that money. It's not.
Okay, we'll get this part.
It's Indian government.
Okay, so just
roads and bridges. Let's address this part. If I'm getting the message right, what she's trying to say is that some of these bridges or some of these construction projects are evidence of a beneficial attitude or a positive contribution. But again, really what it is, there's one or two ways to look at it. It's either a contract that's come out by the government and their business wins the contract because they can afford to do a job at a price where nobody else can compete. Or if they're building a bridge or constructing a road or something like that, they're not doing it as a charity type of thing. You know, I know one road that I was told that the Japanese kind of donated it. It's between Lusaka and Livingston. There's a section of the highway. That's kind of
in the ring road. That's the reason why they call it Tokyo
Road.
Yeah.
So those are kind of like evidence of someone being beneficial or doing something as a contribution. But these other ones, I think what they are is they do these projects in exchange for some kind of favorable consideration so that they can continue to do business here. I don't know the figures exactly, but I'm assuming that for every million kwacha that they pay into one of these projects, they're probably in exchange for favorable consideration for doing business and everything else. It's probably like 100 times that much.
Yeah, and clearly, this woman does not listen to the news. How much Zambia owes China?
Oh, that.
Zambia is in debt to China. So these Chinese, whatever they are constructing, the infrastructure, they are doing it because they are actually
expected to pay for it.
Over time, that money is expected to be paid, or they will take over Zambia.
So, for an example, like imagine that you wanted to have a nice car, or someone comes along and offers you, here's this really nice Canter, and maybe the price is 50,000 kwacha, but in exchange for having it right now, let's say over 5 or 10 years, but it's going to cost you like 150, and that's kind of what's going on with some of these projects.
Exactly.
It's the same kind of thing. You're getting something that's nice right now, but what it's costing you, like on the one hand, you get something nice and you don't have to wait.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you're paying way more.
Yeah. And then just to add to that, the bridge that she talked about at Arcades, she said it's the Indian government that's paying for it. But really, I have not seen Indian writing on that bridge. So that actually, challenges what she said about, no, when Chinese are building something, they have a right to write the Chinese language on there because it's them that are building. So I guess any other countries don't do that.
If it's a charity, it's a weird kind of charity.
I know.
It's the one which is going to pay for that project. Zambia said, ask them. Silo Kwacha, they haven't paid anything there. It's the Indian government which is going to pay that project. Okay? Let me talk about this. Atimulumbushi, you don't know much. We don't just talk. But sometimes, Kakoswagan Soni,
Did you understand that?
There's a project
She's
going on
saying
in
the
Imobu,
rat
that big
in
project
the
which they're
hole,
building.
because
Chinese
of
are building that
shyness, it
Their
died in the
government
hole.
is the one paying that money, not Zambia. What are you telling me? You just wake up from another country, from another African country. You start talking on our behalf. And for us, we're just quiet. Yes, Chinese, yes. Who are
Wow.
foreigners? Think of that. Even whites, they treat us.
I almost feel sorry for this woman. She's so oblivious.
She's not oblivious. She's biased because
Okay.
the husband's Chinese, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, you can't compare the house and the other nationalities. In your house, yes, when a visitor comes, he can't come and change your house. You put a TV there and put there. No, that is not right. But for this, it's not right. I'm against it.
Is she contradicting herself?
I don't even know what she's talking about.
Well, so she is saying that in your house, you've got your own rules. If a visitor comes, you cannot allow them to change things in the house. Say, for example, she gives an example of a TV, to get a TV from here and put it there.
Okay.
But Chinese are doing exactly that. They are changing things to suit themselves. Okay? While in other countries, that would never happen. You know, America, the USA, owes a lot of money to the Chinese. But really, US would never tolerate the Chinese to go there and take up companies and businesses that are only supposed to be for locals. Their government would never allow them. But the Chinese are doing it here in Africa.
In China, yes, although you are saying that when you go to China, you can't get your rubbish from the style which you are living, you take it to foreigners' countries.
It's true.
You don't like it.
A Zambian can never go from Zambia to China and open a business that's supposed to be only for Chinese.
Be like them.
But Chinese are doing it here. So she's contradicting herself.
They are doing business there. They're poor. For them, they like building in community.
The Africans are doing business in China. That's true, because I've heard that story. Okay, especially in Guangzhou. Because Guangzhou, that's a phone.
Export.
Yeah, Guangzhou, it's so Africans go there, they look for work as tour guides. They learn the Chinese language, so each time Africans go there to buy their stuff,
The tour guide will show them
the
around.
tour guides will show them around, and they kind of feel comfortable with their fellow blacks.
So again, if you're Zambian and you want a job in China, the only way you're getting a job is
is
if
the
that
lowly.
job also, that job's facilitating a business for Chinese interest. You
Yeah.
see?
Mm-hmm.
They will let a Zambian do a job in China if it helps China make more money from Zambia.
Yeah.
So you can see they always play with
Well,
their own advantage.
Exactly. While Chinese companies, when they come and they establish here in Zambia,
Even the workers are Chinese.
yes, for the workers with higher positions, it's the Chinese.
Even some of the construction projects, like if it's just the lowest unskilled labor, but it's locals, but anything above that, any kind of supervisor, any kind of director, they have their own people, and I've even heard they bring in their own supplies. They don't even buy local
Oh yeah.
raw materials. They will even bring in the bags of cement.
Yeah, they bring containers of supplies so that they avoid to buy from here.
They're always,
But
every aspect that they can is with an eye to maximizing their own economic
Exactly.
benefit.
And another thing they have done is to open, because they are most of them are into construction. So their relative has opened a Chinese plant, the cement plant.
That. And that was one of the ones that was
That's
keeping the
one of
workers
the
overnight.
Yeah. So Chinese, yes, lady, you are right. Chinese are smart, but they don't use their smartness to benefit the average Zambian. They use their smartness to benefit themselves and people like you who's married to them.
It's like a football team and another football team. The China's the one team and Zambia is the other team, and Chinese play for Team China. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
For them, coronavirus is a serious disease, you guys.
Oh boy.
It's a serious thing. For us, we are just getting infected. That is serious. Just because we are not today, who are you? If a lot of people they have died in countries, who are you?
Okay, let's do
They are
this.
trying just to tell you.
Oh, you want to
because we are
talk
all
on that?
over.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure even this woman should know that where did coronavirus start was in China.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure they're taking it serious because that's where it came from.
I know.
But we've been so lucky in this country for whatever reason that the coronavirus problem hasn't been very bad here. They had to do a huge security state lockdown to keep it from going into a full-blown epidemic in their own country. And here, with maybe some fairly minimal measures and just people mostly cooperating of their own free will, not really being forced to do stuff, and we haven't had anywhere near that kind of problem. And yet, you go into some of the Chinese places and they kind of got this attitude like it's us that might give it to them and not them that might give it to us. So she's showing the same kind of weird attitude, a backwards attitude. To me anyways, it seems like their attitude, considering where it started, and then considering what their attitude is now, a few months later, they've kind of got a backwards attitude, and so does she.
Yep. Okay, let's move on.
We are all over. We are there. They are scared. They don't want to die. I'm not saying on behalf just because I'm in Chinese, whatever, I'm married a Chinese, so I can
She
talk
doesn't even.
for them. But they're trying to help. You guys, let us open our eyes. Don't just listen to anything. It's good. Some, they're just tarnishing us.
When she says she says they're trying to help, does that include the ones that came to Zambia while they were sick?
They're trying to say it's us doing this project, so we put our
This is why
if Chinese, because they are them.
I know you say, okay, she's biased, but at the same time, she's
stupid. Like, she doesn't know how obvious she looks to everybody, that nobody's going to buy this.
Yeah.
She sounds kind of a little bit angry, and there's one thing that I know, fear and anger go close together. When someone gets scared, quite often, as soon as they're done being scared, they get angry. And I would bet she's been scared by this. She's married to the guy, and she's maybe got.
She's scared that they'll be kicked out of the country.
And she's scared that the backlash against the Chinese interests will affect her personally. And I think that's why she, as soon as she got over being scared, she gets a bit angry, and this is the video. That's where it's coming from.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we've come to the end of that video that this woman did, and I will call her Maria. This is an angry woman, and she's saying things that are actually
opinions.
Like, she's so opinionated because obviously she has her interest,
her own personal situation,
her personal interest. Now, I just want to say a couple of things to this woman before we end this video. I know she's gonna see this video and she might come as, with attacks like in the comments to roast us or something like that. But here is what I want to tell you. Before you come to me to attack us in the comments, I say you calm your boobs down, slow your roll, and please get your underwear out of the twist.
Okay. You know, say whatever you like. There's an old saying, judge not lest ye be judged. If you're going to criticize us, go right ahead. That'll say as much about you, whatever you want to say. It's going to say as much about you as anything you say will say about us. I don't think we've made much of a personal attack. I think, again, like we said at the beginning, it's just addressing the argument. And I don't think it's much. I think the argument's weak because maybe it doesn't contain a lot of facts. The lines of reasoning based on a fair bit of personal bias. And what we've done is point out what we think of some of what she said, not really what we think about her as a person.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this has been your girl Frida Tates, aka Dark Chocolate. Thank you so very much for watching our video. If you found value in this video and you like it, please leave a comment below, like the video, and share, like I always say. And please subscribe. Don't you forget to subscribe so that each time we put out a video, you are notified. So from us, it's peace out for now.